Microsoft has decided to boycott me. So my camera doesn't work on this laptop, but I'm sure you can all hear me very clearly. Please let me know. I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you all see my screen? Are you able to see my slides, etc.? Please let me know that you can all see that comfortably, because
Yes.
I want to make sure that everybody can see my screen. Awesome. Well, it's great to have all of you with me this morning. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to facilitate this class this morning. And I hope that we will get through it fruitfully. And please feel free at any time to stop me if there's questions or points of order or concern or anything in general. I really want this to be an interactive session. I don't want it to be just me talking and you just have to do all the listening. I really, really do hope that we'll engage together and that we will be able to interact well together as well. Awesome stuff. So I'm going to kick off. As you know that you are on your BAL6 course, Strategic Marketing Management from Planning to Implementation. And the agenda for today is we're going to cover the following points: Introduction to Strategic Marketing Management, Internal Drivers of Marketing Objectives, Evolving Marketing Plans, Data-Driven Marketing Insights, Financial Strategies in Marketing, and then lastly, the conclusion with a little bit of a Q&A if you feel that there are still points of clarity or anything that we do need to cover in the time that we have together. So the first thing I want to get through is we've got 2 modules or unit standards that we're going to be covering today. The first one is 7887 is the SAQA ID, and it's going to cover developing and managing marketing plans and strategies. And then your second unit standard ID is 116368, which is applying basic business marketing practices. And so you should have both of those modules with you. And both of those modules will basically be what we will cover at length today as well. Is everybody still comfortable? Am I going at the right pace, or is there anything that I need to pause and reflect on before we get into the meat of our material? Okay, everybody seems comfortable. Please feel free to raise your hand or type a question or a note in the notes section so that I am able to see that you have tried to get my attention while we get going. So let's take a look at Introduction to Marketing Objectives. When we think of marketing objectives, we look at it as stars and a sailor using those stars to navigate. They guide our promotional journey by ensuring that we're always on the right path towards our grand business ambitions. Why focus on these stars? Because without them, our marketing efforts might just be drops in the ocean, visible, but without impact. So I would ask this question to say, if you knew how to navigate with stars, would you use the stars to navigate? Of course you would, because it would make your journey easier. It would make your load lighter. It would make it simplistic because everybody knows what to look for, what direction to head in, and how to get to the end destination. And so this is why we use marketing objectives like a likeness to being able to navigate using the stars. We know that there are multiple different stars that could be looked at, that could be viewed. But once you know what to look for and you know where to navigate to, it becomes so much easier to get to the outcome that we're looking for. And so marketing can be viewed in a similar fashion. There are many different ways that we could market. There are many different things that we could accomplish with marketing. But if nobody knows what the plan is, if nobody understands exactly what the objectives are, where do we want to go and what do we want to achieve, then it becomes, everybody chasing their own tail, everybody running around in the dark, trying to achieve objectives that are not necessarily, at the heart of their organization. So I just want to ask a quick open question for the group. If you had to think about a marketing strategy just off the cuff, what would that marketing strategy look like for you or for your business unit? Anybody
Uh,
can unmute. Yes, go for it,
uh,
Jonathan.
yes, Jonathan here. My side, I'll do promotion. For example, if
Mm-hmm,
let me say the pricing when you buy something and let me say buy one and get one free.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's also part of the promotion that I'll be doing because it's easy for other people when you say buy one free and then get one free. Then they
Absolutely.
can able to yes.
I love that idea, Jonathan, because everybody likes free things, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
obvious.
mean, no, yeah, exactly. So everyone goes, oh, something free. I'm definitely going to take that. I see Clicks loves that,
Or
right?
30%
Click
off, or
or
sometimes they say
30% off.
30% off.
Yes,
Yes.
Clicks has that special where they say, buy two, buy three, get one free, and then sometimes they'll say, no, you can buy from a range of products, but you get the cheapest thing free. So I absolutely love that idea. Well done, Carl. Yes, I see you've got your hand raised.
I like the idea that or the notion that we all know about the clicks promotions. The one I want to talk about was a strategy that was implemented in KFC back in the day when
Hmm.
it was first introduced into South Africa.
Yes.
So when KFC was first introduced, they weren't doing too well. They were actually going to withdraw from
Hi.
the South African market, but then
Le phone
they had
kanye
a cons
ngiyangibhayizisa engathi yodibhayizana.
Nankasi, you're unmuted.
I've
Thank you.
muted her. Thanks, Carl.
There we go. So yeah, so as I was saying, so when KFC was first introduced into South Africa, they weren't doing too well. And they were actually going to withdraw from the South African market. And then they had a consultant come in and he studied the business and what was happening. And after several months of studying and learning about the organization, he actually suggested the complete opposite to the organization. He told them not to put the prices down. He told them to put the prices up. And then they did. And what had happened is their sales had increased. They had started making a profit, started breaking even. Um, and that's psychological sales. You know, people perceived it to be of greater value when the prices was higher.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
when it was too cheap, they weren't willing to buy it because it was just a cheap product. So
That
it's
makes sense because
psychological
it
sales.
was unfamiliar. So people might have
Yeah.
thought, oh, are they going to like poison us? Or maybe it doesn't taste so good. Is that the reason why it's so cheap? That actually makes perfect sense. So thanks for sharing that, Carl.
Happy to.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else who would want to share an idea of what type of a marketing strategy you'd employ in your business unit or in your company? Or maybe one you've read about or seen on TV that you thought was pretty cool? Should I pick? I'd have no problem picking.
I think go for it. Pick people.
Chilidzi, talk to me. Chilidzi, are you there? You can unmute your mic.
Hello, I'm here. I've unmuted now.
Okay,
So
great.
the other strategy of marketing the people's or those marketers use to say if you are supposed to pay installment, they may say that first installment will start, say, after a month. The first month you don't have to pay, or the installment doesn't have to start then you
Mm. Oh, yes.
they that strategy.
That's a great one. I see that a lot with car sales, right? Where they say if you buy
Yes,
the
I
car
am
now, you
referring
only
to that.
start paying after 3 months, or maybe like in the new year, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's a really nice strategy because you almost feel like you're getting a payment break, but you get to enjoy the benefits of the product. Excellent. Thanks for that, Chilidzi. Let's take
Okay,
one
thank
more.
you.
I'm going to take one more and then we're going to move on. Let me see. Jessica, good morning. Don't you want to unmute your mic and share with us a marketing strategy that you would either employ or one that's caught your attention? Jessica, are you with us? You can just unmute your mic. Okay, I don't think Jessica's with us. Maybe let's try Tumi. Tumi, talk to us about a marketing strategy that you think is quite savvy or one that you would love to try. Tumi, are you there? Okay, so Jessica and Tumi are not with us this morning. That's okay. We will then move on. That's not an issue. We'll come back to you guys a little bit later on. I'm a woman of my word, so I'll definitely be calling on you a little bit later on in the class as well. So, overview of internal influences. Let's take a look at a little bit of detail in that. So, it says what happens inside our walls usually dictates our journey to the stars. Today, we dive deep into the internal engines, which are things like our culture, our structure, our resources, and our expertise that propel our marketing ship forward. So if we have to look at our business unit and we have to think about, what influences our marketing objectives, we have to look at a whole lot of things internally. Stuff like what is the company trying to achieve? What are the objectives that the company is trying to achieve? What are the budgets that we have? Do we have a budget for the things that we're trying to achieve? Because of course, if we don't know what the budget is, we'll go over budget or we'll be under budget, and we'll end up not, delivering on that which the business is expecting to see or experience. So it's important that we understand exactly what our internal influence is when we determine our marketing objectives. When we want to know how to roll out a successful marketing campaign or a successful marketing strategy, we need to consider even things like HR, even things like operational limitations and operational issues. So those are some of the factors that we would have to look at. So everything that happens inside of our business, what are the factors that could affect the way that we market, or the decision that we take to market, or how we choose to market, whether we're doing it digitally, whether we're going to do it, face to face, whether we're going to stand outside and, have flyers in our hands, or, whether it's going to be purely just email, or maybe just WhatsApp links, etc. We would need to make a determination of that based on all the factors that are being experienced within our organization. Now, one of the things that we must remember is that internal factors are the backbone of any marketing strategy. And like we said earlier, these can include company culture, organizational culture, and even resource availability. Sometimes I can have a really, really great idea, but actually realize that I don't have the resources available. Maybe I don't have the particular skills, or I don't have the equipment, or, the thing that I'm envisioning or wanting to do doesn't necessarily fit the puzzle piece for my organization. So it's very important that I map out all of those pieces as well, including resources. A lot of the time, the biggest pitfalls to executing an effective market strategy is a lack of effective resources. And so, like I said earlier, when we think of resources, don't only think of people, think of even things like equipment, digital opportunities like your software systems, and being able to have the right resource to be able to get the outcome that we're looking for. The second point there is that company culture influences risk taking and innovation levels, directly affecting marketing ambitions. So, for example, a culture fostering open communication and innovation may push more aggressive digital marketing campaigns. And I'd like to believe that Nando's is probably one of these. It has a very aggressive, marketing structure and strategy, because they seem to really poke the bear very often. They love to have these adverts and these marketing strategies that really get people talking. It gets people laughing or buzzing or, debating. And sometimes they hit a sensitive topic. Sometimes they hit a funny topic. Sometimes they go for a political topic. But the one thing that Nando's does exceptionally well is Nando's foster an extremely innovative and aggressive marketing style. It's in your face. Love them or hate them, they make sure that Nando's is at the top of everybody's minds. They get tongues wagging. They get people, talking about how they are the number one when it comes to creativity, when it comes to, just nailing a concept, or even just talking about things that people don't necessarily want to confront. Those difficult conversations, they turn it around and they make it seem like it's something that, is funny, or something that can be shared over a meal, and so on and so forth. So if I had to ask you a question to say, what do you think could put your business on the edge? What type of marketing campaign or strategy do you think could help make your business a market leader? How do you think you could push your business to the next level? What type of marketing strategies do you think you could employ to take the business to the next level? Let's have somebody different this time. Let's have Maposi, for example. You can unmute your mic, Maposi. Maposi, are you there with us this morning?
Hi, Eileen. I did post in the chats that inactive people will be removed from the session and we'll mark them as absent. So
Okay.
we must all start
I'm not sure
participating.
if
Hi,
hello.
Mposi. Yes, we can hear you now. Go for
Yeah,
it.
like I'm not. I wasn't sure because you were saying Maposi, so I
Oh,
thought there
I'm
is
so
someone
sorry.
else
I
with that
mispronounced
name,
your
so
name.
that is why
I'm
I was
so
quiet.
sorry.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I just
Yes.
butchered your name. It's Mposi. Is that right?
Yes, it is Maposi.
Apologies for that. Please go for it, Mposi.
You talking about the strategy that will make my business go forward.
Yes, I mean, like Nando's as an example, really just push the envelope when it comes to marketing. What do you think could be the solution, for example, to push your business to the next level in terms of marketing strategies?
Yeah, you got me off guard there anyway.
Well, there's no right or wrong answer here. We're just brainstorming, right?
Yes.
Well, what would you like
Okay,
to see more of from your business? What type of marketing would you like to see more of in your business?
yeah, maybe I will be focusing on the platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and all those things, like putting all the information there so that maybe people can be able to see whatever that I'm selling. Yes, and I think what else maybe? Looking at the local influencers, maybe using them maybe most of the time to say they are going to be there promoting the business.
That's a great idea. I love that, brand by association. So this is where you use social media influencers or some
Influencers,
famous celebrity, or yeah, like what they did with is it Lillian Dube and what's the gentleman's name? The other gentleman that
the
for
other do be.
clientele. The other Dube.
Yes.
Everyone used to think they were mom and son, eh? And then people found
Yeah.
out later they're not actually even related, eh?
Yeah.
That was a great strategy. Now, when I see clientele, I just see Lillian Dube. I just think of her immediately. So that definitely would make your brand stand out. So thank you for that, Mposi. Mamsi, I saw your hand was up, so please go for it.
I wanted to say I can do collaboration maybe with social media influencers to promote my products and also do more video marketing.
When you
Yeah,
say
more of
video, you
and post them on also on all the social medias, because now
yes.
it will be easy for people to access them when they're on social medias.
Lovely. And I think TikTok at the moment is becoming such a brand leader when it comes
Yes.
to marketing, right? I mean, I think Facebook and Instagram are almost dying out, if I could say it like that, from a brand association's perspective. TikTok really seems to be taking that position and driving that quite forwardly. So, yeah, that would be a great strategy, Mamsi. Do you have a ring camera at home? Do you have your ring light ready and your phone ready for your camera shots, eh?
Yeah, yes. I have them. No, I don't have a
Wow.
ring light, but I have my
Uh-huh.
phone. And now I
Nice.
will have to check if my budget is enough for me to go
Uh-huh.
and buy the ring
A ring
light
light.
for,
Yes.
yeah, because it will also sort serve as an enabler for me to reach my destination.
Absolutely. Yes. And the ring light will just make your videos pop a bit more because the lighting will be better. And, you look glam in those videos, hey?
Yes.
So thanks for that one. Thanks, Bamsi. You must invite me. I'm going to come and dance or something in your TikTok. I can't dance, but I'll do something in your TikTok, okay?
Most definitely.
Tebogo says in the chat, my focus would be more on using piano music and dances to promote my my bad. Tebogo, I'm with you. I saw Jason Derulo is here in Cape Town at the moment. So maybe you can just, hit him up and be like, yo, come and do some dancing for me, because I know he's busy promoting the Amapiano stuff on his social media at the moment. So that's a great strategy, because Amapiano is taking the world by storm, right? It's replaced Kwaito nowadays, and I'm giving away my age here. Kwaito used to be the jams. I see Chilidzi and Jonathan both have their hands up. Please go for it, Chilidzi, and then we'll get to Jonathan after. You can unmute your mic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Myself, I can use that event marketing where I organize shows so that people may also even see and look into the products I will be selling. And I think it will be helpful, or it will assist also those customers to test and also look into those products and get attracted by that.
That's a great idea. So almost like a show day, or even like these expos that they're having these days, where people can actually come and touch and feel and experience the product for themselves. Do you think you'd want to have some entertainment on the day as well? Maybe some singing, dancing,
Yes,
some cool.
yeah, yes. Also organize those who have influence, like musicians, come and
Hmm.
also entertain people. It will
Excellent.
also attract people.
That's a good strategy. I mean, if you've got a big budget for that, that's a great way to get feet in the door, especially when people know a specific celebrity or brand name is going to be there. Sometimes they just come to want to see that person, not even to see your brand, but then end up experiencing your brand because you managed to lure people in with the brand by association. So I love your thinking. Jonathan, you had your hand up as well. You can go for it.
I wanted to say almost the same thing. I wanted to say let's go back to our roots. Like the event marketing is the best strategy is that we don't take it seriously because it's
Mm,
easy for you to do the space. You understand when the people you through live events on you and then the experience, the events can arrange the small scales and the workshops where you can also uh, give them the surveys where they can check your product if they like it or not. It's an easy way.
yes,
You don't have to lose nothing, and then you don't have to
correct.
lose anything in that one. Yes.
Absolutely. Because you're just having samples on the day, or like you say, if it's a digital product, people get to experience the product there and then they get to make a decision about it. You're not spending extra money on above the line marketing, maybe billboards, radio ads, etc. It might end up being far more affordable to do back to roots, like you say. Let's have an open day, let's have a fun event, maybe make it family friendly, people coming in, people enjoying themselves. I love the ideas, guys. Tsepo says do case studies and showcase customer experience. I love that. Case studies is a very valuable way to get insight, where you grab random people and get them to give you feedback and the opinion on the product. So I love that. And then Bro Top says free delivery from certain amounts in a radius of 25 meters. I think maybe that's a good one. I think there's a lot of companies that actually do free delivery. I see now even Checkers has got this new thing where if you subscribe, I think you pay, it's 99 Rand a month. I think now that they've got this thing for frequent users or frequent flyers, you pay the 99 Rand a month and you basically guaranteed free delivery every single time you use the app, because now you become like this special 60/60 member that now gets exclusive rights and different discounts, etc. So I'm loving the ideas, guys. I can see that you've got your marketing hats on. And it's great to see that you're willing to go the extra mile to position your brand in such a way that people begin to take notice and people begin to trade more often with you. Remember, like we said earlier, don't forget the internal factors that can influence your ability to execute all these great ideas. We need to remember things like budgets. We need to remember things like resources. We need to remember things like what is the culture of your company? Because if your company's culture is old school and they haven't yet moved into a digital age or digital era of TikTok and social media, you might struggle a little bit to get those ideas across the line, because the culture of your business is, oh no, we don't do social media advertising, we only do radio or print, as in newspapers, magazines, etc. So we would have to then push against those kinds of stigmas, those kinds of cultures, to be able to get our ideas off the ground and to make sure that we execute an effective marketing strategy. So when we take a look at organizational structure, remember this dictates the flow of information and the decision-making power. Like I said earlier on, a decentralized structure might empower local branches to respond swiftly to market changes, whereas a centralized structure ensures consistent messaging across all platforms. So, like businesses that have franchise models, depending on how strict those franchise rules are, sometimes that franchise, like Woolworths as an example, is a very good example of a centralized structure. Woolworths franchise model is that anybody who owns a franchise is not an external Woolworths person. All the franchises are owned by Woolworths. They don't sell their franchises anymore. They stopped that process because they found that the standard had dropped. They found that the marketing strategies were not being followed, the store standards were not being followed, etc. And so you would get a different type of a feel. If you go to Woolworths in Kuruman, you'd have a different feeling to the Woolworths in Pretoria Central or to the Woolies in Sea Point versus the Woolies in Katlehong, and so on and so forth. So what they did was they took that model back and they centralized it, and they said any person who will be appointed to run a Woolies has to be a Woolworths employee. They have to be somebody who's gone through the Woolworths savvy way of training and branding. Whereas if you look at, for example, a Pick n Pay, is a slightly different structure where Pick n Pay opens up its franchises to the public, where the public is able to take this franchise. They can own a Pick n Pay outright, but however, obviously they have to keep the name, the brand, they have to use Pick n Pay supplies, etc. But sometimes one Pick n Pay can have a slightly different product range or a different product special to another Pick n Pay, and then you see the inconsistencies in the brand or inconsistencies in the marketing strategy. And so this is where we see the difference between a decentralized structure and a centralized structure. So you have to look at how your business operates. If your business operates with a centralized structure, that means there's only one marketing department, one business unit that makes those kinds of decisions. Once they sign it off, then the whole business follows suit. Everybody has an opportunity to be able to contribute their ideas, etc. However, only one decision gets made. When it's in a decentralized structure, you might find that you have a little bit more free reign, where your branch, for example, is allowed to sell blue chairs and branch C is allowed to sell pink chairs, as an example. So it will all depend on how your business organizational structure works, and that's important for you to know. It's important to research. It's important to have that information before planning a marketing strategy. Number two, resources availability, like we said earlier on, will determine the scale and the scope of marketing activities. More resources will obviously not only allow for wider campaign reach, but also more sophisticated tools and technologies to be employed. So what are we saying? We're saying the more resources you have, the better chances that that campaign is going to succeed, because you're obviously able to, spread further, you're able to reach more people, you're able to do more things, you're able to get more ideas flowing, more technologies, and all sorts of things that can be used to help spread the word about your business unit. If you're working with limited resources, limited staff or limited technology, then that may also limit how many people you can reach in a month, or how far you can reach, or how wide you can reach. And if, for example, if your business only operates in Gauteng, somebody spoke earlier about delivery, free delivery, for example, within a 25-meter or 25-kilometer radius, whatever it may be. If your business only operates in Gauteng, that would mean that you cannot market nationwide. And so your resources would have to be limited to just the Gauteng regions. And of course, then also being only limited to that 25-meter radius that you're talking about, because those are the customers that you're trying to attract. So we must be very mindful that when we put together the strategy, that we're thinking about actively how all of these things are going to come together. Now, let's take a look at company culture, which is the heartbeat of our strategy. Imagine our company culture as the heartbeat of our strategy, a strong, innovative pulse that can push us towards bold objectives. Think about Apple or Google. The minute we see those brands, we immediately know what they stand for. Apple stands for quality, expensive, great warranties on their products. Their products last very long, really, really great for if you are in the technology field. Google, on the other hand, is more of like an open engine, can be used for school, can be used for work, it can be used for research purposes, and there's this feeling of information sharing. Apple is seen as the savvy product, Google is seen as this info sharing product. And so what is it that people think about when they see your business? What is the thought that comes to mind? What is the heartbeat of your culture? What is it that people see when they see your colors and your brand and your logo? When I see KFC, I think of the smell of those 11 spices that they put into that chicken. I immediately just see the crunch, I see oil, and I see the 11 spices. That's what I see when I see KFC. What is it that people are saying about your brand? Because if your heartbeat is a bit more cautious or a bit more measured, that will then shape your objectives too, steering then you towards sustainability, careful growth, and deepening customer loyalty. So whatever it is that your company stands for, the ethos and the rhythm at which you operate, if it's innovation, if it's people, if it's passion, if it's throwing caution to the wind, if it's risk taking, what is it that people see when they see your brand? We spoke about Nando's earlier on. When we see Nando's, I see Nando's as controversial. Like, I really see Nando's as this cutting edge, controversial, risk taking organization that says not only are they great with their food and their flavor, but they're not afraid to position themselves as a voice for South Africa, as a voice for this nation. And they indirectly are using their marketing campaigns as a way to unite us, as a way to get us talking about difficult conversations. So that's what I feel and see when I look at Nando's. And I would like to believe that the heartbeat of their strategy is to be cutting edge and to be innovative and to be in people's faces. What then becomes the cutting edge strategy or the heartbeat of your organization? Whatever that heartbeat is, that is what will drive and influence how you market to your overall, whether it be your competitors, to your direct markets, indirect markets, and get people, talking about your brand. When we take a look at organizational structure, we see it as the skeleton of our operations, which means this is the way that our company is put together. The skeleton of our operation affects how nimble we are in the market. In other words, how flexible do we become? How agile do we become? How quickly do we adjust to what's happening around us? A decentralized structure might empower branches, like we said earlier on, to act swiftly, and a centralized one might decide we want to just take a more safe approach where everybody has to sing from the same hymn sheet. So if I had to ask that question to the group this morning, what would you say is the heartbeat of your organization? What would be the heartbeat at the culture of your organization? What would that be? Anybody can unmute their mic. Maybe let's hear from someone we haven't heard from yet. Is it Kona? Am I saying your name correctly? Kona Mashaba? Maybe you can unmute your mic. What would you say is the culture of your organization at the moment, and how would that affect your marketing? Are you there, Kona? You can unmute yourself. Okay, maybe let's hear from Tumi. Tumi, how would you describe your culture in your business unit, in your office, in your business?
I go?
Yes, please go for it, Seppo.
Yeah, I'm thinking of creativity and being innovative
Mm-hmm.
on my side.
Okay, so you're thinking creativity and innovative on your side. You believe that's the heartbeat of your business, of your organization.
Yeah, because I have a small business that deals with artwork and photography.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So you believe that when people see your brand and interact with your brand, they see creativity and innovation.
Yeah, true.
Fantastic. That sounds awesome. I mean, is there some stuff that you've done to position you in that way? Are there any adverts or marketing strategies that you've employed that gets people talking about your creativity?
Yeah, so far what I'm doing is I'm creating posters.
Mm-hmm.
So they are eye-catching to potential companies that have what is that word, that are approaching me on the side to say I should be doing some work with them.
Okay, excellent. So your poster design is where you really push the innovation side and the creativity side on your poster designs, and that attracts customers in for you.
Yes, that I'm doing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'd love to see some of your posters, Sepo. I love, I do on the side, also my side hustle is also graphic design. So I'd love to see some of the innovation that you're doing. It sounds interesting that people are attracted to your poster designs. Awesome. Talk to me, Jonathan or Chilitsi. What would you say is the culture or the heartbeat of your operation?
Okay, Chilidzi.
Go for
Social
it.
responsibility. Okay, social responsibility. In some way of attracting people is also to give back. Once they are buying to you, in other words, you must also show interest on developing them also,
Mm.
or
For,
developing communities, and they will come and buy knowing that they are also going to be supported also.
And is that something that your company currently subscribe to? Is that the culture that your company has, social responsibility?
Like say say organizing competitions where like sports where young people from the community will come and will play or participate in the competition, and at the end they win something which will also assist them to develop
Okay,
their skills also, like that.
fantastic. Yes,
Yeah,
because then by sponsoring, for example, like the 5K walks or Run for Cancer or something along those lines, helps
yeah,
people
yes.
to see the brand as compassionate and caring. And like you say, that they take social corporate responsibility very seriously. I love the juices that are flowing. I mean, this is exactly it. Tsepo says, visit Kosasa Gauteng Facebook page. I'll see your work there. Awesome. I'm looking forward to looking at that, Tsepo. I'm definitely going to do that. When this call is done, I'm going to go and take a squiz around and see your creativity. Mamsi, talk to me. What would you say is the thing that your company is known for? What is the backbone or the heartbeat that your business is known for? What do people say about your business, about your organization?
Um, okay, I don't have a business, but what I saw in my organization is the same as what Tepa was saying, giving back to the
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
And also doing awareness about people that are living with disabilities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they've shown interest in that, and then they're doing a lot of campaigns, raising awareness with regard to that, and then also encouraging those people to come and study in the institution because we also cater for them.
Wow. So
So
there's a strong sense of community and people and outreach and helping people to change their lives.
yes, yeah, so
Fantastic. And
that
that becomes the
there's
brand.
a lot of awareness around that, and then I think I like the idea because now we are getting more exposure as a result of that, and then now we
Mm,
have even people that don't have disability, they still come to the institution
wow.
because of
They've heard about it
yeah, they are
through.
also aware of what is happening.
Fantastic. And I mean, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Marketing is supposed to drive feet into your business unit. It's supposed to get the attention of the right people and help people to understand that we're here to be, accessible and helpful to you. And I love the fact that everybody seems to be saying the same thing, which tells me that your organization drives that message really, really well. And the community is seeing that brand message coming through. I love this little quote by Winston Churchill that says, however beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. And I love that because it's pointless if we're doing something and not seeing the results. But I love what you've just said now, Mumsy, that you're actually getting people coming in because of the good job that you've been doing with marketing, which means that you are seeing the results that you aimed to achieve when you went out and marketed your business. So the need to revisit marketing plans. Let's talk a little bit about revisiting marketing plans. Not only is it just a good practice, but it's a business imperative in today's rapidly changing environment. I have to keep going back to my marketing strategy and checking, is it working effectively? Is it working well? What worked? What didn't work? What lessons can we learn? And how can we take this forward into the next marketing strategy that we employ? Market dynamics constantly evolve. What worked yesterday might not work today. And regularly updating those marketing plans help businesses stay aligned with consumer needs and ahead of their competitors. So we now know that by checking in with the marketing team, checking in the stats, checking in the results, measuring, etc., means that we are able to get to the place where we can be honest with ourselves and talk about the things that are not working, like I said, and then also celebrate the quick wins, celebrate the things that are working. We're living in a time where it's 2024, where technology is everything, where we're hardly using emails, we're hardly using SMSs. Even WhatsApp, to a certain degree, is becoming a bit stale. It's a bit redundant. And so if we're not moving with the times, doesn't matter how great our idea is, if it is not reaching the right people, because the people that we're aiming to, our young students, our young savvy, group of people, and we should be speaking their language. We can't expect them to read emails when they would prefer to watch a 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute video on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or Threads or whatever people are using. So we need to make sure that when we employ our marketing strategy, that we're checking in, we're revisiting that plan and making sure that the plan is still going according to what we expected. Technological advancements can also help us revolutionize how we reach our customers. So like I was saying earlier on, do we stay abreast of what's cutting edge? Do we know what's trending? Do we know what's working? If TikTok is the way to go, why are we not on TikTok? Because at the end of the day, if that's where our target market is, if that's where people are currently getting information, swapping information, if that's the latest buzz, the latest trend, we need to hop onto that trend as quickly as possible so that we don't miss the window of the opportunity. Understanding shifts in your consumer behavior and will also help you to understand how to get a better customer expectation and preferences. So we have to understand if customers are no longer buying, trading with, let's say, using EFT, for example, to pay for stuff, they prefer to just sort of, scan a barcode, or to be able to do a snap scan payment, or to be able to do like a Venmo payment like they do in America. Why aren't we moving on to something more accessible, something more easy? Why are we not watching how our customers are behaving? Because our customers will tell us what they prefer. Customers will show us what their needs are. Customers will tell us, but I would prefer if you could do it like this, or I'd prefer if you have option A instead of option B. And so it's important that we listen to our customers. I love what somebody said in the chat earlier on, where we said, go and get customer feedback, customer engagement, go and run like a survey. Why not? Let's go and find out what it is our customers actually want. Because if they can tell us what they want, then it becomes easier for us to position ourselves in the market as the market leader, because we're speaking the language of our customers. Now, when we leverage data in marketing in the digital age, data is a critical asset that can significantly enhance decision making and strategic planning in marketing. So data is everything. The more information I have about my business, my consumers, my consumer behavior, the climate, the financials, race, age, gender, whatever information I'm collecting, the more information I have, the better it's going to be for me to be able to have a proper marketing strategy. When I collect the right data, identifying which data points are the most relevant is what's really going to help you to become an effective leader in the markets. We need to look at consumer behavior, sales conversions, competitor activity, like I was saying earlier on. What type of customers am I attracting in? Am I marketing to the right customers? Is my product simplistic? Do people understand what my product does? Is it something that people actually want and need? And that's a very big question we need to ask ourselves. A lot of the time we think that just because it's a great idea on paper doesn't necessarily mean everybody else will agree with us. Sometimes some of the solutions we have are not necessarily necessarily feasible. They don't even make sense, or they won't work because people are not interested in that particular solution. And so while I look at things like behavior, consumer behavior, and sales conversion data, that helps me to know exactly what it is that people really want. I mean, I look at South Africa's fast food market as an example. There are so many people with fast food franchises in South Africa, but they're all making money because they've understood the target market that they have. I mean, let's take a look at how many chicken outlets we have. Just chicken alone. Let's forget all the other smaller things like Burger King and McDonald's. I mean, we've got Chicken Licken, we've got KFC, we've got Nando's, we've got Muchachos, we've got Pedro's. There are so many chicken franchises at the moment, but every single one of them makes money. How are they able to do that? How can all those 6, 7, 8 different chicken places actually still make money? It's mind-boggling to me. But what they've done is they've positioned themselves in such a way that says, okay, we understand that our people love chicken. How do we position this in a way that, we'll target the right people with the right type of chicken flavors? There are a market for Nando's, there's a market for KFC, there's a market for Chicken Licken. And sometimes you'll find all 3 or 4 in the same mall, close by, close to each other. They're not even that far apart. And yet when you go into that mall, you'll find those chicken places are packed to the brim. Month end, beginning of the month or the 20th of the month, when the civil servants and the bank staff members get paid, you'll find those franchises absolutely full. You'd think in your mind, no, that's overkill. People can't have that much chicken. They can't love chicken that much. But the reality is South Africans love chicken. The behavior shows us that no matter what chicken franchise you own, as long as you're selling chicken, you will make money in South Africa. And so that's the same thinking that we need to employ when we look at leveraging data in marketing. What information do I have? And if I don't have the information, I need to go and look for it. I need to go and get the information so that I can be in a position to make better decisions. Once I've gained the information, I can then analyze the data, and I can use different analytical tools to be able to identify trends, market gaps, customer pain points, patterns, behavioral patterns, expenditure patterns, budgeting patterns, etc. Because I'm now able to either look, at spreadsheets that I'm going to draft. I'm going to be able to do bar graphs. I'm going to be able to do scatter plots. I'm able to look at this information with a critical eye. And if you don't have the skill to do that, then make sure you've got somebody in your business unit that can. There has to be individuals within your business unit that can analyze the data in the correct way to tell you exactly what you need to see. Because it's one thing to have the data. It's one thing to collect all that information, but then you get to a place where you can't interpret the information and you don't know what's happening in that information. Then that's a different story altogether. So make sure that you're interpreting that information correctly so that you can implement insights and integrate those insights into your marketing strategies and make sure that it's on the mark, it's on target, that it becomes effective. And then of course you can then monitor and adjust as you're tracking. Because like we said earlier, I may think that, chicken is the way to go because I'm looking around me, I'm seeing Nando's, I'm seeing Muchachos, I'm seeing Chicken Licken, I'm seeing all of this happening. And I'm going, let me also open up a Chicken Express, which we're now seeing a lot of in the service stations. There's a lot of Chicken Expresses which have popped up in recent years. Now you've got a Chicken Express, but for whatever reason, it's not working. It might not be that people don't like the chicken. It might just be that maybe your marketing or your advertising or your positioning or your accessibility, you don't have a drive-through and people don't have the time to jump out of the car and be able to go and get a piece of chicken in the garage. They stopped at the garage for a quick, simple, service. They want to quickly put fuel in their car or quickly grab a packet of cigarettes or a packet of crisps or a Coke or a water, get back into their car and be on the go. So maybe the name Express is not really an express. And so you're letting your customers down because when they walk into the Chicken Express, they've got to wait too long for the chicken to be delivered. And so then I might have to readjust my plan to ensure that my chicken is out within a minute, for example. Make sure it's pre-cooked, it's kept warm, and all I'm going to do is reheat it in the fryer. When a customer comes in to order, my food is ready, it's accessible, and that's why I've called my franchise Chicken Express, because it's supposed to be quick, it's supposed to be fast. But if I don't know that this is the reason why people aren't buying, I'm going to keep operating the way I always have and not actually meet my customer expectations. And so, this is why it's important that we know exactly how our consumers are behaving and how to interpret the data that we have that can drive our marketing forward. So, if I had to ask the question to the group, how do you measure data in your business units? Who gives you statistics? Do you do your own stats analysis? Do you do your own market research? Just by way of understanding, do you measure data in your business units? I see Tepo's comment, these chicken places have mastered location, strategy, brand identity, and experience. Absolutely, I agree, Tepo, because it boggles my mind. How do all these chicken places make money? It's crazy. I once saw a Chicken Licken and a KFC right next to each other, but they were both very busy. And I was shocked at the fact that these are like competing brands, but they're both making money in the same mall. So I agree with that 100%. They've mastered location, brand identity, and experience. So back to my question very quickly. What do you do in your organization to measure data and stats? Do you have somebody who does that for you? Or are you part of the team that has to analyze some of the information we've got in our business? Anybody can answer.
I normally use market research on my site, whereby I
Mm-hmm.
include surveys and feedbacks.
Okay, great.
So my focus groups will be on the students. I just
Mm-hmm.
engage them and just find out what is it that they're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that I need to improve on the social media pages
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
the organization that I'm running with.
Okay, so you go directly to the source and you get them talking and telling you what they want to see and what works and what isn't working, etc. Okay, fantastic. That makes sense. Anybody else? Is there anybody else who's part of that team, maybe, or how do you gather information? Do you know?
Pardon?
So on my side, I predict, and then after, then I do monitoring. Then I collect the data and see what did I
Mhm.
gain, what did I lose at that specific time.
Oh, nice. And what sort of tools do you use, Jonathan, for predictability modeling? Are you using spreadsheets, or is there like an app or technology that you're using for the predictability models?
No, it's a spreadsheet. So we write, for example, that today I'm going to sell 10 pencils, and then see
Mm-hmm.
if, and then go to different places and try to sell those pencils and see how many did I sell today, and then write it
Mm-hmm.
down. How many did
Mm-hmm.
I sell? I said 9 or 10, and then tomorrow the same thing, and then to see within a day how many prediction I can do within
Mm.
as a data. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so you kind of almost you do it in real time, where you measure the actual real time results against the projected targets, and then
Yes.
see how it performed and why, etc. Okay, that's a great way of looking at it. So fantastic. So that's exactly it. Once we know that we have to be looking at the data and measuring the data, this can help us to reposition our marketing strategy, because maybe what we're doing isn't working, but if we don't know what to change or what lever to pull, it becomes very difficult to be able to fix our strategy. So what I love about data specifically is that we have to know exactly what is happening in our organization. If we don't know what's happening, we're not going to be able to fix it. My mentor would always say to me, you cannot manage what you can't measure. And so it's very important that we remember that we must be able to measure what we are doing. And if we can't measure it, we're not going to be able to make our strategies become effective. I like what W. Edwards Deming says here. He says, without data, you're just another person with an opinion. And I love that, because if it's just an opinion, it's not fact. And without facts, we are not able to push our business forward. So let's take a look at motivation and its impact. Motivation in the workplace is a critical driver of productivity and employee satisfaction, which in turn impacts the effectiveness of marketing efforts. A motivated marketing team can be more creative, more proactive, and more engaged with their tasks, leading to innovative campaigns and better results. Companies can foster motivation through recognition, rewards, career development opportunities, and creating a culture that values each employee's contributions towards organizational goals. So, again, let's not underestimate how important motivation in your workplace can be. Because if I don't feel motivated by the company, the brand, or what we stand for as an organization, it'll become very difficult to drive that brand forward. It'll be very difficult to come to work every day and be excited about what we do if I'm not motivated by what we do, whether it be by the people around me, by my bosses, by rewards in the form of vouchers, certificates, being able to contribute openly, having an open door policy, etc. So let's not underestimate the impact that motivation can have on the success of a marketing campaign. Because it's one thing to have great ideas, it's another thing to execute those great ideas poorly. And because I've got low motivation, I may end up doing more damage, more reputational damage to the brand than I am when I've got a bad marketing strategy but a great energy. So let's never underestimate the power of a mindset. If the mindset is right of the team that represents the brand, and the mindset has a can-do attitude, and the mindset is people who are pushing to change the status quo and are feeling free and not stifled or not feeling like they're limited, you will get the best out of your people and the best out of your organization, and you'll get a lot closer to achieving your organizational goals when motivation is at the heart of what we do. Now, let's move on to talking about conducting effective market analysis. Effective market analysis is foundational for crafting strategies that truly resonate with your target audience. Utilizing a mix of primary and secondary research to gather comprehensive market insights will really, really help you to know exactly what is happening in the market. Some of you are already doing some of the stuff on the list: surveys, focus groups, industry reports, competitor analyses, even just one-on-one interviews. Sometimes we can do call center campaigns where we pick up the phone and we do a call center survey. Sometimes it can be in the form of a link where somebody has to answer a couple of questions. Sometimes it could just be observations, and so on and so forth. But whatever you're doing, do not underestimate the importance of doing effective market analysis. Do we know what people are saying and feeling about our brand? Why are they engaging more or less? Are there peak times, non-peak times? Is there change in behaviors, etc.? And if I'm constantly surveying, checking, reading reports, looking at my competitors, analyzing the information I've got, this helps me to position myself in a way that puts me ahead of my competitors. I need to segment my market to better understand the specific needs, preferences, and behaviors of your different customer groups. So again, like I was saying earlier, are there certain regions of South Africa that perform better than others? Does Gauteng maybe have a better response rate to that of Limpopo, for example? And why is Limpopo having the lowest amount of response to our marketing, our campaigns? We've got less people signing up, less people who are even aware, for example, that there is such an organization. And so this will help us to know exactly where to tweak what. Because again, what might work in Gauteng might not work in regions like KZN or Limpopo, or in the Eastern Cape, for example, because maybe Gauteng has a lot more technological opportunities like fiber and Wi-Fi, and so people are able to get onto social media a lot more frequently, whereas areas like Limpopo, for example, might struggle with connectivity because they don't have as many Wi-Fi hotspots and as many malls that have free Wi-Fi, and schools and coffee shops that offer 30-40 minute free Wi-Fi or 1 hour free Wi-Fi. So my strategy for that market, for that area of South Africa, would have to be very different to the strategy that I'm employing, for example, in Gauteng. So those are things that are food for thought. I need to look at a SWOT analysis as well. That helps me identify my strengths, my weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if I'm not honest with myself, I cannot drive my business forward. I cannot drive innovation and creativity like we've said earlier, because I need to know what I do well, what are my weaknesses, what are some of the opportunities that I'm maybe not yet capitalizing on, and what are some of the things that could be a threat to my business. Is it competition? Is it a competitor? Is it ignorance? Is it a lack of social presence, etc. So once I know a clear picture of what is really happening in my business unit, it becomes very easy for me to market better for my company's growth and to achieve my company's targets, goals, and objectives. So let's take a look at collaborative marketing planning. Collaborative marketing planning harnesses the diverse insights and creativity of the entire team, leading to more robust and versatile strategies. Steps to effective collaboration include clear goals setting, using collaborative tools for real-time communication, and regularly scheduled strategy sessions to ensure alignment and adaptability, and of course to emphasize the importance of each team members' contributions and ensure that feedback mechanisms are in place to refine and improve plans. So what are we simply saying here? There is safety in numbers. We get more done when we put our heads together. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the solutions. And I need to be honest enough and open enough to be able to expect people to know that we're not always going to get it right with just one or two people in the room. I have to invite a couple of more people into that meeting. I might need some more people to come and do work that I can't do well. Maybe like I can't do strategy well, or I can't do planning well, or I can't do analyzing the stats well, etc. Who do I get to do that? I need to bring in a collaborative marketing team, plan together, sit together, look at the goals together, talk through the plan and make sure that everybody has a role to play, because I can't be in 10 places at the same time. I can't juggle 20 balls at the same time. I've only got two hands, and those two hands can only do so many tasks at a time, as an example. So this collaborative approach helps you to feel less burdened. It helps you to feel less stressed. You're also able to meet your targets and objectives a lot quicker and in real time, because you now have 5 or 6 different people, doing the same thing, reaching more people, getting those objectives out a lot faster, as opposed to if you're using only 1 or 2 people to do a job that is where a team of people could have achieved that goal in a quicker time, maybe even saving money for the business unit as well. So make sure that whenever you employ a marketing strategy, that you're not the only voice of reason in the room. Make sure that it is collaborative. Invite other people to come to those meetings, even if, for example, they're not even part of the marketing team, but you'll be surprised at what great ideas those individuals might have. Invite the people who are in charge of the finances to come and talk about the budgets and how we can stretch those budgets and how we can use those budgets to our advantages. Invite the technical team to those meetings, because they might have technological solutions that we don't know about, that they are, fundis in. They have experience, they have knowledge in those kinds of things. So don't take the burden on yourself alone. You might be the head of the marketing team, for example, for your business unit, but that doesn't mean that you have to carry the burden alone. Great ideas are born out of collaboration. It has been proven time and time again that two heads are always better than one. So let's ensure that collaboration is at the heart of what we do as well. It should never be an I. Like they say, there's no I in team, right? It's TEAM, which means together we each achieve more. When we put our heads together, we can grow and we can learn together alongside one another, helping the business to achieve its objective. So the interesting marketing models, which is called the buyer's journey, there are 3 stages that we would take a look at. The awareness stage. So we are now aware that there's a problem, or there's a pain point, or there's something that needs to be fixed, or something that needs to be changed, or we can see that there's an issue, there's a problem. So an example would be in COVID, we realized that the pain was we needed to cover our faces with masks, and we needed to sanitize our hands so that we would not spread the COVID-19 virus. That was the problem. That was the awareness, was that we needed to be aware of the fact that COVID spreads through touch, it spreads through sneezing and coughing, and through, obviously, the microbeads in your saliva. So that was the pain problem. Then I could get to the consideration stage, which is what is the solution? The solution is let's invest in some PPE equipment. Let's be able to sell the right type of mask that's considered safe. Let's sell gloves. Let's sell sanitizer. Now I'm able to start bringing a solution to the table for the problem that we are facing. Then I can get to the decision stage where it says which providers are we going to use, or what type of quality mask, and how do we position ourselves in a way that people are aware that we are the provider for PPE equipment during COVID-19, as an example. So we must look at your marketing strategy using this buyer's journey. We look at what is the pain or problem, which is the awareness stage. What is the solution that we can bring? This is where we now consider all options. This is where we do our collaboration. We put our heads together and we figure out what is the way forward. And then, of course, we get to the provider awareness, which is the decision stage. Either A, are we outsourcing this particular function, or are we doing it ourselves? And how do we make people aware that we've now brought a solution to the market? So is this something that we do within our organization? Do you work collaboratively when you put together marketing strategies for your business unit? Is that something you do? Let's speak on somebody I've never spoken to before. Hello, Dimakatso or Cornelius. One of you can unmute your mic and you can respond. Do you take a collaborative approach to marketing for your business unit? Are you there, Dimakatso? Cornelius, are you there? Cornelius Malapa? Okay, so Dimakatso and Cornelius not responding. Kiamuketswe Tsai, I think that's how you say your surname. Tsai. Is it Chai or Tsai? Kiamuketswe, are you there? You can unmute your mic. Not there as well. Okay, Mukondeleli Charity.
I'm here, but do you mind to repeat the question so that I can be sure if I had it well?
Sure, no problem. So my question is, does your business have a collaborative approach when it comes to marketing ideas, or does the marketing come from one specific department and nobody else is allowed to get involved? Does your business take a collaborative approach to marketing?
Yes, the institution that I'm in takes a collaborative marketing. We do have a section that deals directly with marketing, but because we are a tertiary institution, we also have, for example, student support services, which also does the marketing of the products. That is our courses that we teach students, that we offer to students. So they also go all out to do the marketing. And almost all of us in the institution, in one way or another, we do marketing because we also have maybe clothing that is printed. And as I'm talking to you today, I'm wearing a t-shirt from the institution. So even during lunch, when I run around going to pick my lunch or whatever, I'm also doing some sort of marketing, because when people look at me, they see the brand of my company. So this is collaborative. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So you also get the students actively involved. I love that approach because they the end user at the end of the day. And so getting their input and their insight can really, really help drive your strategy. So thank you so much for that, Mukundeleli. Can we have maybe Ntombi? I think it's Ntombi Mahlangu. Are you with us, Ntombi? You can unmute your mic. Does your business unit take a collaborative approach when it comes to marketing?
Hello, I'm
Hi,
here.
Ntombi. Go for it.
Okay. As Mkondeleli said, I work in an institution also. So yeah, we all do marketing Because when the student comes here, we are the ones who assess the student. I'm in admin, so I'm the one who assists the student when they are choosing their course, helping them to choose the right career. So yeah, we all do marketing at the college.
Okay. And do you ask for maybe like referrals as well with those students so that you can grow your customer base? How does that work in terms of how do you get students to come into your institution?
Okay, the marketing team are the ones who print the flyers. So they put it around the streets, around the campus. So that's where they see the marketing,
Okay. And
the
so you're
advertisement.
are you only using flyers? Are you using social media as well as a way to market?
The college has the Facebook page. Yes,
Facebook page. Okay,
yes,
fantastic. So you do a little bit of both, and obviously when you interact with the students, you talk about also, telling them that they can bring their friends or referring their friends, etc., as well.
yes, we do that.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ntombi. Great stuff. Well,
Okay.
thank you for your contributions, everyone. Let's move on. As I love this little quote by Scott Cook that says, a brand is no longer what we tell the consumer it is what consumers tell each other it is. And how important is that? What people think about your product matters. It's not about what you think your product is, but it's more about how the people feel about the brand. If they feel it's too expensive, if they feel like it's cheap quality, if they feel like nobody's helpful, if people feel like people are unfriendly at the institutions, etc., that is what your brand becomes to the consumer. It's not what we think it is, but it's what people around us experience when they come to deal with our organization. So let's take a look at the importance of a structured marketing plan. It is crucial because it provides a clear roadmap for achieving marketing objectives and aligns marketing efforts with business goals. It ensures consistency in messaging, optimizes resource allocation, and sets benchmarks for measuring success. A well planned marketing strategy can anticipate market changes, provide contingency plans, and thereby reducing risk and improving responsiveness. So it's like saying, if I want to get into the car and drive from Johannesburg to Durban. I can't just get into my car and drive. I must have a proper plan. Number one, I need to ensure I have proper, my car is serviced correctly and that the car is actually going to make it to Durban, that we're not going to get, stuck halfway along the line. I've got a spare tire. I've done a service on my vehicle. The brakes are working. The oil filters have been changed. The carburetors, etc., have all been serviced. My spark plugs are all in working order. There is enough water in my radiator, etc., etc. Then I've got to think about which route am I taking. Have I got money for the tolls? Am I stopping? And where am I stopping? For how long am I stopping? What happens if there's traffic, which is unpredictable? What happens if the weather changes? What happens if it starts raining? I've got to be able to think of all of these things because it's not just a matter of getting into the car and driving to Durban. I've got to have a clear roadmap, knowing exactly where I'm going, where I'm stopping, what could go wrong. Do I have a backup plan? Do I have a spare tire? Do I have water? Do I have cell phone reception, a charger for my cell phone, etc., etc.? And that's what marketing is. Marketing is planning properly. Marketing says, what could go wrong? Are we ready for those things that could go wrong? What happens if people don't respond to our products? What happens if we spend too much money on one thing and not on another thing? How do we get from point A to point B? How do we position ourselves in a college to be the best institution that people can deal with? How do we become the leading provider for tertiary facilities and services in South Africa? That's what a marketing plan does when it is well structured and well put together. It helps us to plan for anything and everything, and it benchmarks our measurement of success. It gets us to the place where we say we are now able to successfully achieve the goals we have because we've thought about all the pitfalls. We carried a spare tire in case there was going to be a pothole on the road. We didn't have to stop for too long. We were able to quickly change the tire and keep moving so that we could get to Durban before the sun sets tomorrow. And so that's really what a structured marketing plan does. It puts you in the driver's seat. sheet. It helps you to think about actively what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it, who's doing what, when, where, what are the pitfalls, what could go wrong, what is working well, and being able to replicate that as well. Because there's been many a times you've done a campaign and it's been very successful. Why aren't we taking that and replicating that? Why are we reinventing the wheel, as an example? If something is working, keep using it. Why do we need to keep changing it if it's not broken? So these are the things that can help us to drive our marketing strategies forward. We can use something called a RACI model or a RACI matrix. And the RACI matrix really helps us to delegate tasks and to make sure that the work is achieved and the goals are achieved. So the R in the RACI stands for responsible. Who is responsible for getting the work done? In other words, who is doing what? Who did we delegate what to? Because at the end of the day, if we don't know who's supposed to be doing what, it's going to become very, very difficult for us to, hold people accountable to certain things. So it's important that we understand who is responsible for what. If somebody's got to print the flyers, make sure that person knows they're the one printing the flyers. If somebody is responsible for distributing the flyers, then we need to make sure that person is aware. He must come and collect the flyers on Monday, and by Friday, all the flyers needs to be handed out. So we can't operate in the dark. We need a proper plan with proper roles and proper delegation. Then the accountability, who is the person who oversees the tasks and make sure that those tasks get done? So even though, yes, Eileen might be in charge of designing the flyer, however, who's the person who makes sure that Eileen gets the flyer done on time? That becomes a bigger question, because somebody's got to be held accountable. Who reports back to head office? Who reports back to the bosses to make sure that the work is done? I'm looking at Tsepo saying that he does a lot of the designing of the flyers and the pictures and so on. If Tsepo is in charge of that, who is making sure that Tsepo's doing it correctly? He's using the right brand colors, he's using the right font size or the right wording, etc., etc. Who's the one checking that Tsepo's doing the work according to the company standards? And this is where the accountability comes in. Then number who's consulted? Who do we need to tell about what we are doing? There might be some portion of your business where you've got to go and consult your manager, your boss, the marketing manager, the finance person who's going to sign the checks for the Amapiano DJ that's coming in next week. Who are we going to speak to about consulting for our plan to be signed off? Because I can't just wake up tomorrow morning and decide, oh, this plan is great, I'm going to execute it. I have to go and consult and get permission sometimes and sign off on the plan that I'm going to be executing. And then lastly, who am I informing? Who needs to know what's happening, when, where? As the deliverables are being met, who am I giving progress to? I might have to give progress to the CEO or the CFO or the marketing manager or to the sales manager or to the administrative manager, etc. Who are all the people that need to be informed about this plan that we've got in motion? If the plan was to have an open day with an Amapiano DJ and some forms for the students to fill out and some flyers that we're giving out, if that's the plan, who do we need to tell that this is what's happening? Maybe I need to go to the campus and inform the campus, security that, by the way, we're going to have a lot of crowds coming in. So please just be informed that on the 23rd of August, we're going to be having more than 20,000 people on the campus grounds at a time, because we're having an open day, with an Amapiano DJ that's probably going to attract a lot of feet in. We might need to inform the police, from a health and safety standpoint, so that they can come in with some ambulances and fire brigade. We might need to get a permit, etc., etc. So all of these things helps us to plan our marketing strategies well. The RACI model says who is responsible, who is accountable, who do I need to consult, and who needs to be informed of all the moving parts of my overall marketing strategy. So I just want to do a quick check-in. How are we all doing? Are there any questions? Anything to add? Anybody who would like to just unmute their mic and share something? Maybe a point of order? I see a comment here from Jessica in the chat that says, as a Herbalife distributor, I would say yes, because you need to introduce the product to the people, and others would want to become sellers to make extra money, and they also get to do marketing to customers. Absolutely. So that's your collaborative approach. Thank you for that, for sharing that, Jessica. Thank you. Absolutely, yes. Anybody else? Somebody asks, is the RACI somehow the same as the marketing activity plan? They go hand in hand together, Sindiswa, because what you're doing is you're taking the considerations of the RACI when executing the marketing activity plan. So once you've listed all the things that you're going to be doing, your activity plan, you can then plug in the RACI to the activity plan. So like I said earlier, the activity plan might be design a flyer, print the flyer, distribute the flyer, hire a DJ, sign up 2,000 students, blah, blah, blah. Then in doing that, each item, you take the RACI and you'd say, for example, design flyer, who's responsible? Tsepo's responsible. Who's accountable for the flyer? Maybe it's Mukondeleli. Who do I need to consult about the design? Maybe it's Mposi. Who do I need to inform? Maybe I need to inform Carl that the flyer is going to be ready on, midnight on Friday, for example, and so on and so forth. So you'll piece them together. You take your marketing activity plan, you'd list all the activities that you have for your marketing plan, and then you plug it into the RACI line by line, each one. So you go down each item and then apply the RACI to each and every item on your marketing activity plan. I hope I've answered your question. Sandiswa, maybe you can just give me a thumbs up so that I can see that you're happy, or you can just type in the comments to say happy. Well presented. I'm ready to tackle Module 6. Yay. I'm glad you're excited, Tsepo, about tackling your assignments. Sandiswa, I see your thank you. I'm glad that I've explained and clarified that well. Excellent stuff. So if we're feeling comfortable, let's move on. We're going to now move on to financial resources. But before we do that, let's take a look at this quote by Jay Bayer that says, make your marketing so useful, people would pay you for it. What a perfect world scenario, hey? I want to earn money for marketing, and there's those social media influencers. They've gotten that right. They've literally gotten the marketing strategy right, because people pay them to literally just talk about their brands or present their brands in a social media video. And that's what Jay Bayer is saying here. He's saying, make your marketing so useful, people will pay you for it. So financial resources, which is the fuel for our marketing machine. The financial resources at our disposal are the fuel, because more fuel, more power to launch large-scale campaigns and explore new markets. Limited budgets aren't a stop sign, but rather a challenge to be more creative, more precise, and to ensure every dollar spent works harder for us. So if you've got no limit in your budgets, great, then that's even better. But that doesn't mean that you can't use your budgets wisely. It does mean, however, that you need to make sure that you spend your dollars wisely, make sure the money goes to the most important parts of the marketing campaign that are going to yield the most the most lucrative results. Let me ask you this question, and there's no right or wrong answer here. This is us just brainstorming. If you have a budget, let's say you've got a budget of 50,000 Rand for the next upcoming marketing strategy, and the idea is to have an open day with some Amapiano DJs, maybe some food stalls where people can come and buy some food, maybe take some pictures on the 360-degree photo booth, have some flyers, some sign-up forms, and maybe like an MC who's going to like introduce the company and have some fun games and exciting activities, and some celebrities who come on board to take pictures, etc. Where would you spend the most of your budget? What do you think should take up the chunk of your budget? And this, anybody can answer. Would you spend money on the food? Would you spend money on the DJ? Would you spend money on the celebrity guests? What do you think, guys? Where would you spend your money?
On the celebrity guest.
Tepo says the celebrity guest. Okay. Anybody else? Mposi, what do you think?
I'm not sure, but I think I'll spend it more on the people that will be showcasing. Maybe then I will be having people that will come and showcase whatever. I'm not. Oh, it's for my business. So yeah, Yeah, maybe then the person that will be for me, because that's the one that will attract people to
Attract
come.
people. So the
People, yes,
performer, okay, so the
yes,
amapiano DJs or dancers or something like
yes,
that. The
yes.
entertainment. All
The
right, that
entertain.
sounds interesting. Great. Muchitsi, we haven't heard from you today.
From
Muchitsi Ayanda. Oh, yes, go for it, Jonathan.
from my side, I will spend on the snacks so everyone get the snacks or the taste of, let me say, the food or yeah, small foods which everyone they can eat. I think everyone will
Okay.
be happy to get something. Yes, probably
Okay.
not
So,
only the DJs only, also
mhm.
everyone. Just small
so you'll
portions, something
so
cheap.
you'll make
Yes,
sure that there's a budget for the food, good food, maybe like street
yes,
foods, like those Priga rolls or something
yes,
light,
yes,
something
yes. Like you see
easy.
those meatballs. Yes, yes,
Uh-huh,
something like
uh-huh.
that. Yes.
Okay. And why do you think the food is important? Is it because these are young students who are starving? They're eating 2-minute noodles in the dorms.
Yes, definitely. And then definitely. And the food it attracts a lot of people. If, for example, you say that you have a meeting or maybe you have something, like let me say you have a campaign and people they're gonna
Uh-huh,
get food. Obviously
uh-huh.
everyone's gonna come. All
Yeah,
drinks,
people like
everyone is gonna
food
come,
or drinks,
obvious.
alcohol for
Yes,
sure. No
yes.
100, especially this AMA 2000s. Now, if there's alcohol and food, they are there, right?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so Jonathan says it's the food. Okay, cool. Muchitsi Ayanda, if you're there, maybe you can unmute your mic. Where would you spend your money? The bulk of the money, if you had the say, where would you spend the money? Okay, Mamzi, you've got your hand up. Go for it. Mutsizi seems to be on mute still. Go for it, Mamzi. Open your mic. You can respond.
Yeah, I think I will spend most of the money on giving back to the community. Like maybe, for example, if there is maybe anti-drugs campaign, I will make donations and and
Mm.
so forth, just to show people that the company cares. And I
Mhm.
think the more I do that is the more people will go out and talk about what the company is offering. And as a result, the company will be getting, more clients.
Great. I mean, that sounds
Yeah.
awesome because the focus would be on making sure that people know that our presence is to change lives and is to drive community initiatives. That's awesome. Jessica says, I would spend most of the money on the product so that the people can come and taste and have an interest in buying and know how good it tastes. So you'd spend time maybe on the packaging and how it looks and feels and flavors. So that's awesome. Kona says, I would spend on organizing branded gifts. Oh, I like that idea. I like getting things with my name on or something with the corporate branding because then I can show people I was also part of that day, etc. So it's interesting to see the viewpoints that come across from all of you around the table, and that's exactly how a marketing strategy would work in terms of how do we spend our money, because everybody had a different opinion on this call. Some people said it would be the food, some people said the celebrity guests, some people said the entertainment, some people said no, let me rather have gifts, some people said no, let's make sure that there's alcohol and drinks, etc. But that's exactly how you fuel your marketing campaign. You take the money and you plug it into what you believe is going to give you the best results. You don't just take the full 50,000 Rand and blow the full 50,000 Rand only on food and alcohol, but we forget about the printing of the flyers or the forms or having samples to taste or touch or feel or experience, etc. We must make sure that the money is spent well. If we have to distribute the money evenly, if it means we've got 5 things happening, we take all 5 things, we divide it by 5 and we give 10,000 to each thing, whatever that may be. But never underestimate the importance of allocating your budget into the right things. The last thing you need is to have spent all the money on the DJ, for example, or the celebrity, but then you've got no food, you've got no tents, you've got no umbrellas, you've got no waters, nothing to offer. When people come, all they have is a celebrity DJ, then it's still going to be a flop nonetheless. So we must make sure that we have balance. It's great to have all these wonderful ideas and believe one thing is more important than the other. Nothing wrong with that. But let's make sure that we distribute the money in such a way that everything gets the right amount of attention, that we're not just wasting money on one thing that we think is going to drive feet to our businesses. So, budgeting within your marketing plan remember, you must have a budget, right? And you must try to stick within that budget. Try to make sure that if you've only been given 50,000 Rand, you must stay within the 50,000 Rand. Don't go over the budget. And like I said again, prioritize what are going to be your high return activities or diversifying your investments. How can we get the maximum return for these things that we are doing? If the celebrity is going to draw lots of people in, but they're the wrong crowd, who are not the target market, who are not going to sign up for your product, that are not going to spend money, that are not going to become a customer, then maybe the celebrity is not the right way to go. If the people are coming just to eat free food and leave, and they're not going to sign up for your product, then maybe also the free food is not a good approach. So it's very important that we make sure that our budget is used in a way that maximizes the overall performance metrics. However you choose to use your budget, there's no right or wrong in terms of there's a specific blueprint in the way that it needs to be done, because let's be honest, everybody's business is different, everybody's planning is different, strategy, target market, outcomes, etc. And what may have worked last year might not work this year. And so it's important that that is something that you explore in depth before spending any money. Make sure you've done enough research to help you to allocate the funds where they really belong and where they need to go. So just a quick thought, how do we look at the marketing calculation? The marketing calculation is the return of marketing investment. It's basically the sale growth minus the marketing cost divided by the marketing cost times 100. And that's really just how you figure out the return of marketing investment. How do I figure out how much profit that we're going to make or have made from our marketing initiative? You take your sales growth minus the marketing cost divided by the marketing cost, times it by 100, and that will give you more or less an idea of what worked and what didn't work. Was it worth doing, or was it not worth doing as well? So what is the purpose of a return of marketing investment? The primary goal of measuring ROMI is to determine the profitability, like I said earlier, of your marketing campaigns. It helps the marketers understand how well their spending converted into revenue. Did I spend 40,000 Rand on a DJ, but I only got 5,000 Rand worth of sales? Was that worth it? No, it was not. I need to make sure that if I'm spending 40,000 Rand on a celebrity DJ, that I'm going to at least get 50,000 Rand worth of sales on the day. The ROI can also guide budget allocation. Like I said earlier, where do those funds need to go? Directing funds to more profitable strategies, and then of course staying away from the ones that are less effective. Again, there's no one size fits all model here. I don't have the answer to what would work better, whether you should spend money on the DJ, or whether you should spend money on the food, or whether you should spend money on the flyers or the products or the branded gifts. I have no answer to that. But your market research, remember, you would have done research at this point before you even spend any money. Your market research will tell you more or less where you believe your funds should be allocated to yield the best results. And that's why having collaborative meetings and discussions and debates and surveys and interviews and looking at competitors and market surveys and even articles that have been published and gazetted in the past, etc., can help you to make better decisions with your finances, with your budgets. So let's move on to talking about the importance of a plan approval. Remember, you must get formal approval for your marketing plans because it is crucial and it ensures organizational alignment and secures the necessary resources and support from key stakeholders. So what are we saying? You can't just go ahead and roll out a marketing strategy. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. You must make sure that you get sign off from your key stakeholders, whether it be your financial manager for the budget, whether it be your direct sales manager, your head of marketing, your head of strategy, your group head, your group manager, your division manager, your line manager, whoever it is. Please make sure that you get approval for your plans. You must discuss the potential consequences that if you don't get approval, what would happen? You could possibly experience misaligned goals, insufficient resources, lack of support, and that can jeopardize the whole project. Imagine just running ahead of your boss or running ahead of the business, no money, no people, no access to systems, branding, etc. The whole thing is going to be a flop. It's always better when we work together, and we said it earlier, the collaborative approach. If your manager doesn't want to sign it off, let's talk through how we can get to a place where we can compromise. What can we sign off on? Fine, we don't have the budget, great, but we do understand we need to market. We do understand we need to innovate. We do understand that we need to grow the business. So what do we have? Do we have other stuff that we could give away? Do we have t-shirts? As somebody mentioned earlier on the call, branded t-shirts. Maybe that's something we can use. We don't need to spend money because there's already existing t-shirts in the storeroom, in the stock room. So let's go and get those t-shirts and maybe go out and have a free fun day where we distribute free t-shirts and put the brand out there on people's lips. What is it that I have at my disposal? Because if I don't have the right support, my plan is going to fail. I must have support and sign off from my relevant stakeholders and team members. Strategies to facilitate approval include a clear communication strategy, demonstrating alignment with the business objectives and showing the potential return of investment. Again, nobody starts a business because they just, have nothing better to do. We all start a business with a main objective in mind, and that is to always make money. Let's be realistic. Even charities, NGOs, NPOs, social corporate responsibility arms, the vision isn't just only to help communities. Let's be honest. They want to make money to be able to achieve the initiatives that they need to do for those communities. They need money. Unfortunately, money is what makes the world go round. So even if I'm running an NGO or I'm running a corporate social responsibility arm of my business, I'm still needing to get some kind of donations in, some kind of financial flow, some kind of revenue. So when I put together my plan for marketing and I put together a plan to try and grow my business unit through adverts or through flyers or through celebrity endorsement or through TikTok advertisements or paid advertisements on Google, etc., I must remember that they align with the strategic objectives. I must understand the benefits that it's going to bring to the business unit, and I must also show the return of investment, whether that be financial, whether that be social development, whether that be a change in statistics or consumer behavior, whatever it is, I must be able to show what is in it for me, for the company itself. If the company doesn't see value in what it is that you're wanting to do, the bottom line is they will not sign off that plan. So make sure when thinking about your strategies that you're always thinking about the ROI or the what's in it for me factor. Your boss is thinking about it, your CEO is thinking about it, your financial planners are thinking about it. Everybody's thinking about the what's in it for me factor. That needs to be something that you should also be thinking about as well. Are there any things on approval that anybody wants to mention before we move on to monitoring the marketing plan? Anything anybody wants to add there from an approval standpoint? Anything that I may have overlooked, or maybe the process is slightly different in your world? Go for it, Saliti. I see your hand is up. Go for it, sir.
Okay. Like as an institution which is having different sections, I think what is better is to have a strategic planning where each and every section is represented there, so that it will also minimize the risk of budgeting for, say, doing a budget at which it is not going to be funded.
Correct.
Then it is important to participate. We have talked about that collaboration. I think it is the best way of how each section is supposed to know the amount of budget it is allocated as per institution.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that, Siliji. That's exactly it, because if I'm not including the right people, and that's why that RACI model comes into play there so beautifully. Who am I consulting and informing about the plan? Because the budget might be affected by two other departments that weren't initially included. Now, when they're included, that can affect the budget, it can affect the overall plan and the overall rollout. So I love the collaborative approach that you're talking about, your Chilidzi, that every person around the table should send at least one representative, to come and be part of the strategy, to come and be part of those discussions, so that when the plan is approved, nobody's surprised or nobody's suddenly throwing a spanner in the works because they didn't know or they didn't approve or they weren't happy, or no, that budget was supposed to be for books and now you're taking the budget for t-shirts. So I love that approach. Absolutely. Thank you for that contribution. I see here we've got a couple of notes. I'm just going to read them out quickly in the notes section. It says, I align spending with business goals and target audience. Yes, 100%. To me says, I would invest in programs that will enhance the employee skills and knowledge. Indeed, because the more competent my employees, the better results I'm going to get. So that's a great way of looking at it to me. Jonathan says, without spending money, we can also use project management tools and techniques. We can lead us to get sponsorship. And so spend less money because you're promoting both your and our brand. I love that idea where we take on project management tools and techniques that can help us to find other ways to get people to sponsor us and to put our brand out there, putting our brand on somebody else's website. For example, where we say we're collaborating with this and this organization or this and this institution, and then helps us to create brand awareness. I'm loving the creative juices, guys. You can give yourselves those digital claps because you guys are doing amazing. This is phenomenal. I can see you're thinking about your strategies well. You're thinking about how you're going to implement your marketing strategy. So good on you guys. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for all those contributions. Let's now move on to talk about monitoring marketing plan effectiveness. And this is where monitoring and controlling the effectiveness of a marketing plan is essential to ensure that it remains on track and achieves its objectives. We need to look at outline methods like metrics, regular reviews, consumer feedback, and competitive analysis. We must stress the importance of agility in the marketing and the ability to pivot strategies based on real-time data and emerging trends. So in a nutshell, are we monitoring what we're doing? Are we checking how the campaigns are performing? Are we getting regular performance reviews, consumer feedback? How are we faring against our competitors? How agile are we to be able to change and position ourselves in a way that makes sense to our business and to our objectives? If I'm not measuring it, I'm not checking it, I'm not keeping my finger on the pulse, I'm going to end up losing sight of my marketing plan, and it's going to end up just being a marketing strategy that's running, but nobody's actually tracking whether or not it's working. We don't know why we're doing what we're doing. We don't even know the reason why this campaign is running anymore. Nobody even understands who started it, who signed it off, why did we agree to green and not to pink, where was this person when this was happening, etc. So this keeps us all sane. It keeps our heads on our bodies. Everybody knows exactly what is happening around them. In 6 months from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, we can look back, pull those reports, we can look back, pull those analyses and see how did we get the business to where it is? Because there'll come a time in your business when your business won't do well for whatever reason, because it happens to every industry. Even Coca-Cola went through a moment where they just weren't making as many sales anymore because there were so many other competitors coming out in the market with more savvy, different ways of approaching, cool drinks and fizzy drinks. And so even Coca-Cola had to reposition their performance strategy and say, hold on, what worked for us in the past? Let's go into our archives. Let's go and take a look at what worked before. What was the competitive analysis? What gave us the edge? Why were we selling more Coke than Pepsi? Now Pepsi's selling more than us. Now Kingsley is competing with the likes of Coca-Cola and Pepsi as well. How did we not position ourselves to take more of the market share than a Kingsley or a Pepsi or a Schweppes or whatever the case may be? So having those performance metrics and regular reviews and discussions and consumer feedbacks and competitive analysis just helps keep everybody sane, and it helps keep the business healthy. Otherwise, we're just doing things for the sake of doing things, but it's actually not achieving any results. You know what Einstein says, right? What is the height of insanity? The height of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. None of us are insane. All of us want to achieve big things, not just for our businesses, but for ourselves on a personal level as well. And so monitoring your plans helps you to do that, helps you to keep sane, helps you to make sense of what is happening around you in an emerging world where things are changing so rapidly. I mean, right now we can't even keep track of half the trends that are actually trending around the world globally, social media, what's working, what's not working. So we need to be in a position to be agile enough to be able to make those adjustments because we're keeping our finger on the pulse. We are keeping our eye on the ball. So the role of marketing reports, like we said earlier on, reports are a vital tool that will provide you with insights on how effective your marketing strategy is. They need to follow organizational standards to ensure that they're accurate, they're consistent, and they're reliable. Your reports help you to make strategic decisions because they highlight your successes, your areas of improvement, and like I said earlier on, guides your future marketing efforts. What worked, what didn't work, what's working well, what got us to the top, how do we stay on top, what are our consumers saying about us, what is it that is, the strategy for 2025, what's the strategy for 2030, as an example. How far ahead are we planning? Because our reports can help us to do that. Our reports, by doing trend analysis reports, for example, can show us that the biggest months to sell our product, for example, might be September. I'm just thumb sucking a stat here. Maybe September is the best month to do marketing or campaigns because most of the students are unwinding, they're done with their exams, they're getting ready for the new year, etc. So therefore, maybe September, October is the best time to position a marketing strategy. I don't know. But this is what marketing reports do for us. They help us to know how to position our ship. Which direction are we going to next? Which way is the wind blowing? Where are the waves? Where's the tsunami? How do we avoid the tsunami so that we don't lose our cargo because we steered our ship in the wrong direction? There's a lot of companies that have failed to take their business forward. Look at BlackBerry. I love the example of BlackBerry. I love the example of Blockbuster. These were businesses that were so comfortable in what they were doing that they did not see the future coming. And the future came fast and furiously. And the future quickly eradicated them because they refused to, identify areas of improvement. They refused to make adjustments in their businesses that would propel them into the future. Sometimes we're going to have to consider the most craziest options to take us into the future, and that's what a marketing report will do for you. It will give you that that proper reality, the one that almost smacks you in the face and says, this is not working, change your direction, change your position. And so in having those reports, sometimes we don't want to look at the reports because we don't like what we see. I love looking at the reports because the reports tells me whether I'm doing well or not. It tells me the truth. Because let's be honest, the people around us are not going to tell us the truth. Our friends and our family and our colleagues and our bosses are all going to give us a pat on the back and say, great idea, you're doing well, you're doing phenomenally. But if something is failing, they're not going to say it to your face. They're going to, find ways to sort of sugarcoat it. A report gives you the reality. A report doesn't lie. I always say numbers don't lie. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. Whether it's, 4 halves, whether it's 2 wholes, it doesn't matter. The maths remains the maths. So let your reports guide your decision making. Let your reports be the thing that pivots your business into the future. So what type of reports do you use in your organization? We spoke about this earlier on. Do you guys have copies of those reports, or is that something that you have to ask for? Or is it information that's freely given to you in your departments and in your organizations? Mumsy, anybody?
I think in our division, I'm going to talk about something different. It's not in terms of marketing, but we when there's maybe examinations, we always have monitors coming from external monitors from the department. They are mainly coming to check if we are adhering to policies, and then we are actually running exam according to their standard that is supposed to be, and if we are not actually deviating. So
Yes, yes.
after the monitoring, they will give you a brief report, and then they will sit down with you and tell you, this is what you're supposed to be fixing, this is where you're going wrong. If this plan is not working, this is what you're supposed to be doing. They're doing that in each and every examinations. Like, for example, whether it's supplementary or final or semester or trimesters, there will be someone from either from Umalusi, from the quality council. Yes, but there will always be that person to come and do the monitoring.
Okay.
And I think they're also doing this also to make sure that all the institutions are adhering to the policies. They also don't want to lose the standard.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Okay,
is
so
why
you
they're
have got insight on exactly what's happening within your business unit, what's working, where the deviations are, etc. That's excellent. So that's shared with you guys company wide.
yes.
Okay, excellent. So that also helps you to be able to position yourselves in terms of where you need to pull the lever, and be able to make adjustments accordingly. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah,
Mamzi.
yeah, they can also do. They're like, if they see that you're not doing well, they can also deploy people from
Mm,
other institutions to come and share with you their best practices, just to make
okay.
sure that you know what they don't leave you behind and all that.
Behind. Oh, that's excellent. I love that sharing best practice. I mean, that's so cool because at least you get to learn what others are doing well and be able to help you to grow your division to the same standard and to the same level. And that's exactly what reports do and info sharing does. It's to just help everybody to collaboratively get to the same destination, which is to succeed in our business strategy, to succeed in the objectives that we had when we started our business. So, one of the marketing principles that we can look at is something called the AIDA principle or the AIDA principle, depending on how you say it: attention, interest, desire, action. I love this as a salesperson. Naturally, I love the AIDA principle because it says everything that we do needs to talk to these four principles. It must catch the attention of the audience that we are trying to market to. It must hold their interest. It must create a desire in them that leads them to take action. And taking action is what? Being able to get them to buy, being able to get them to engage, to participate, to sign up, to become a member, etc., etc. And so that's what the AIDA principle does. When marketing is done correctly, it meets this four criteria. It captures the attention of the people, it holds their interest, it stirs a desire in them that leads them to take action. I like to look at, those very mark adverts that you see on TV, back in the day, those infomercials that used to be very rife on television. They did that marketing strategy, the AIDA marketing principle, so well. Because they'd start off with a very catchy line. Are you sick and tired of trying to lose weight the old fashioned way? And immediately they'd capture your attention. You'd turn your eyes to that TV screen and you'd be very curious to see what's coming out next. And then you've got some person there who come on, and it's like, before I tried BioSlim, I was weighing 200 kilograms. Now I'm down to 120 kilograms. And I love how BioSlim has made me feel alive and feel fresh. And now you're like quite interested to see, okay, so she lost 70 kgs, she lost 20 kgs, she lost 30 kgs. And then they suddenly go, and that's not all. BioSlim also includes a free this and a free that. And if you order now, you'll get this and you'll get that. Now your desire for this product is increasing, and they say call now before this special ends. If you call in the next 10 minutes, the first 10 callers are going to get this product absolutely free with a 90-day money back guarantee. And now that will lead you to take action and will lead you to want to buy this product. And they did that so well. They did it exceptionally well. And for the longest time, infomercials was the way to go. People would buy whatever they saw on those screens. Let's be honest. We didn't care how much it cost. We were just flocking to the shops to buy those things because they had managed to get the AIDA principle well. They had managed to get us to buy into the fact that BioSlim is the solution to our problems. And I mean, there were a multiple range of other products that they could have done. But that is an example of the testament of the AIDA principle: attention, interest, desire, action. If you cannot capture my attention and you cannot hold my interest, there's going to be no desire for your product, and it's not going to lead me to the action in order to buy the product. So when I do my marketing strategy about whatever it is that I need to sell, position, offer, or do, I need to think about the AIDA principle. What is going to catch the attention of my audience? What's going to keep them interested in coming back, or keep following, or keep signing up, or keep engaging? What desires are stirred in them that will lead them to take action, to become a member, to sign up, to buy, to use my institution, to partner with my institution, to donate to my institution, whatever it may be? What is it that I have done in my marketing that leads to the results that I want? Ultimately, the result I want is action. Let's be honest. I want action. I want people to engage. I want people to participate. I want people to buy. I want people to donate. I want people to sign up. That's what I want. But those 4 steps are going to help you to be able to close that gap in your overall audience. Now, let's take a look at the 7 P's in marketing. We look at processes, right? We take a look at processes and we say, what processes do we need to apply? What processes are working within our organization? How are we going to utilize these processes to our advantage? What physical evidence do I have of what is working, what isn't working? What is it that, that we've got tangibly that we can utilize to our advantage? Products. What products do I have at my disposal? Is it a product or a service? And I need to make sure that my people understand exactly what it is they're going to be getting from my organization. Is my pricing in the right region? Can people afford what I'm offering? Is it something that people are willing to pay the price for? What promotions am I doing? Am I promoting this in a way that leads to that AIDA, like we were speaking about? My place, am I marketing to the right target marketplace in terms of region? The way I'm marketing, am I using technology? Am I using face-to-face? Am I using SMS, snail mail, flyers at the robots, etc.? And lastly, do I have the right people? Am I marketing to the right people? Because if my target market is students, then I need to make sure that I'm marketing to students. Where are students? Students are at schools, they're at universities, they are at campuses, they are at malls, they are at nightclubs, at birthday parties, celebrity hangouts, etc. I need to be able to understand the 7 P's of the marketing principles. So process, physical evidence, product, price, promotion, place, and people. And when I've looked at all 7 of these, then I have successfully put together a successful marketing strategy that will increase the revenue and the objectives for my business. And that brings us to the end of our 2-unit standards. Didn't the time fly? Hey, guys. Are there any questions or concerns? We've got just a few minutes left, but we can talk a little bit about your upcoming assignments or assessments, etc. Are there any questions, points of clarity, anything in general that you would like me to go over with you before we end our call today?
It's Jonathan here. I just want to add something from the
Yes,
business
of
strategies.
course. Go for it.
So the other problem that we have, that I realize, is that if I had a business that worked for me, and the other people, they want to copy the Jonathan, the way the strategies that he used, and sometimes it cannot work for you because you don't know what it I did. Maybe I
Correct.
did my research where I went personally knowing those people. Maybe we share the numbers where I can even deliver the product and all those things. That's the other thing. People, they don't love doing other research. They just love to copy because Jonathan made it on this business. Why I can also do the same. You understand? That's
Correct.
what I wanted to add from the analysis of the
Absolutely.
business. People, they need to do research before you do anything. Research, research, research. And then the problem is that we have so much pride. I don't want to go to houses and say like, I can't be going to places and asking the questions. I
I
understand. I
want to
just
do the
do
work.
it
I
on.
want to ride on the coattails of Jonathan and all the work Jonathan's done over the past 10,
Yes.
15 years as an example. 100%, I agree with that fully. A lot of the time we fail in businesses because we are slothful, we are lazy. We want to just copy what other people are doing, but we don't actually understand how the person got to that level of success, what they did
Yes.
and what they needed to do to get there. So that's a very valuable point. Thank you for that, Jonathan. We can't just take it for granted that because KFC's strategy is finger licking good, that my strategy is also also finger licking good and it's also going to work. I need to think about how did KFC position themselves that people see them as this finger licking good product and that people want to go back to KFC. I agree. Where is the proof? What evidence do you have to show that this is the success or the blueprint to getting the level of results that you are seeking? Thank you for that point, Jonathan. Anybody else? Any questions? Would you like me to go over your workbooks or your summatives, or do you feel like you'll be okay to tackle your modules on your own and be able to do your assignments on your own? Or would you like us to look at some of the questions in there perhaps?
On my side, I'm covered.
Covered. Thank you, Tsepo. So you're comfortable. Anybody else? Anything in general? Like I said earlier, point of order.
Hi, Eileen. I think that the group is all happy. The
Awesome.
silence is also, it says a lot. That means they understand.
Awesome.
So this is probably going to be one of those situations where it's speak now or forever hold your peace. You have to live with it. Okay, cool. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just thank Eileen again for doing the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm sure you've seen that Eileen has an amazing way of delivering the content. So yeah, what you are welcome to do is if you feel like you want to attend the later session, the one that's tomorrow, I believe, you're welcome to do that. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you feel like you're happy and you're ready to tackle the next module, then good, go for it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much for engaging and being with me and following me along this journey. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you'll tackle those modules now while the stuff is all fresh. And looking forward to seeing you again. Hopefully, Carl will invite me back.
100%. Thank you so much,
Awesome
everybody.
stuff. Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Take care. Bye. I see Tebogo, you've got the thing you forgot to fill your logbook in module 5. Okay, I'll look into that. Okay. So have you submitted it, Tebogo? Tebogo, can you just talk to me? Did you submit it? Okay, you must just unsubmit it and then it will give you access to edit it again. Okay, if you're trying to open it while it's submitted, then it won't give you permission. If you just click the unsubmit button, you should be allowed to edit it. Okay, I see Ponzo, your hand's up.
Hi, Carl. Yes, my